Are you enough? Are you genuinely enough to understand that anywhere else you would be a 10, but you're just Ken? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lauren. I do random content on my channel whenever I can. So I saw the Barbie movie this past Sunday with my friends, and I did ask you all on my community tab if you all would be interested in a discussion video about the whole discourse regarding the Barbie movie and my opinion on it, having now seen the Barbie movie. So I wanted to wait until after I saw the movie to make a video like this because I didn't really want to go in there without knowing the whole movie and everything. So here we are. So before I begin, I do want to stress there is going to be spoilers. I am going to be talking about the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, then please don't watch this video. If you haven't seen the movie and you just don't care for spoilers, then welcome aboard. Let's talk about the discourse within the Barbie movie and how apparently some men don't understand the premise of the movie and how it apparently is anti-men according to some conservative Republicans in our Congress. These are congressmen who are upset about a pink womanly movie. I want you all to take a little consideration. Like, we have other problems in the world, such as how hot it is outside, how global warming is affecting us, how women have lost basically reproductive rights and their right to abortion, but their biggest concern is the Barbie movie.
Yeah, just about everything. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, and Chinese propaganda.
Big disclaimer I want to make in this video. When I say men, I do not mean all men. I mean majority or most, not all of them, okay? If you take offense to this, then I apologize, but if you're taking offense to this, then I could be talking about you then. So another thing to mention, there is going to be a little heated conversation about the differences of women and men in society, and certain topics like Andrew Tate will be brought up in this video. So if you are at any point going to be upset by what I'm going to say, then please exit the video, because I am going to be getting into the discussion about treatment of women and men in society, and I do know that this can be a very heated discussion for many. Okay, so I saw a lot of discourse on TikTok about the movie. A lot of it was positive discourse explaining the movie to people who may not understand it or may have not get the premise of it. But then I saw Ben Shapiro, he posted a 45-minute video explaining why he doesn't like the Barbie movie. And yeah.
Let's say, hypothetically, I am a Barbie girl. Okay, let's even say I'm in a Barbie world. Right, so in this scenario, I would obviously know from personal experience that life in plastic is fantastic.
Basically explain why it was anti-men and it was the feminist movement, whatever, right? And then I saw other women, and I guess you can have your opinions about the movie, whatever, right? But I saw other women, 2 women in particular, talk about the Barbie movie. One of them, I think some of y'all may have seen this TikTok. It was this girl, she had a small, a blonde bob, and she was wearing an all pink outfit that was I think expensive, and she had Jimmy Choo's or Prada shoes. I don't remember what she was wearing, but she was basically saying how the Barbie movie wasn't what she expected.
Hey y'all, hope you're having a great day. Not just a good day. And I just went and watched Barbie, so I'm gonna give you a little OOTD. The shoes are Prada, and then this set is from Aloe, and these sunglasses are from, where are they from? Let me check. 11th Hour. Okay, now real talk. I'm not having a great day, not just a good day. Because Barbie was terrible. I don't care what anybody says. It just was not the Barbie that I grew up with and loved and dreamed about and played with. I feel like the plot was way too much. It didn't really make that much sense. I feel like it didn't appeal to kids like it was supposed to. I don't know. I just feel like it was just kind of gloomy and depressing. And Barbie's not like that. Barbie's happy. Barbie's cheery. You know? It just was not the Barbie I wanted it to be. So I'm kind of mad about it. So I would rate it about, honestly, I'm a movie lover. I love every single movie I watch. But I would honestly rate it a 4 out of 10. I don't know. I mean, how can Barbie not love Ken? What is going on? Like, real talk, I'm honestly, like, so sad. Because it wasn't good. Like, I would have rather have watched cartoon Barbie with the 12 dancing ballerinas any day than what I watched.
Okay, before we start with this, I do want to stress, please do not send any hate to this girl, and I'm not sending any hate to this girl whatsoever. I'm just going to talk about this. So, like I mentioned, it's already kind of prevalent that she's well off. You can already see from the outfit, you know, the outfit's expensive, as well as the shoes being Prada shoes. That's a little clear indicator that she's well off. And the fact that she's blonde, she's white, she has white privilege, she's well off, and she even has pretty privilege. She's a very beautiful girl. So that just comes to show that she has privilege. And the whole point that she tries to make in this video is saying how it didn't appeal to her because it wasn't like the Barbie she grew up with, where Barbie was wanting Ken and she was always happy. And I feel like the whole point of the Barbie movie was to break that stigmatization that women need to have a man or women always need to be happy, which is completely not true. Now, I do get she can have her own opinion. Everyone can have their own opinion on this movie. But what I really hope is that the premise is at least understood. Because that's the whole point of the movie. The premise should at least be understood before the opinion is given. If you kind of get what I mean. But like I said, you can have your own opinion on it. Just at least understand the premise. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of other TikToks of other people explaining what they thought about this girl's video.
I wanted it to be, so I'm kind of mad about it.
For me, the funniest thing about Kylan's criticism of the Barbie movie is that all of the things that she wants Barbie to do are like in direct opposition to the thesis of the film. Like, she goes on and on about how Barbie's supposed to love Ken and she's supposed to be like fun and she's not supposed to be doom and gloom and whatever else. You could argue Kylan looks like stereotypical Barbie. She's missing the point because like she relates to Barbie in a way that like many other women cannot. I disagree with that because stereotypical Barbie has the existential crisis for a reason. It is to say whether or not you meet all the criteria of like being a perfect woman, you will ultimately fail because of time. I think when Ruth says we all have the same fate, it's in part saying like we will all pass away, but also we as women will all fail at like womanhood. I think that's in part why Greta Gerwig fought so hard to keep in the part where Barbie tells an older woman that she is so beautiful, because oftentimes being older divorces you from the stereotypical understandings of beauty. This idea that like we are all in pursuit of something that we know is necessarily unattainable. We will all at some point as women fail at womanhood. That's a reality that Barbie is trying to portray. And that like reality for women, regardless of if you are a stereotypical Barbie, if you are weird Barbie, video Barbie, that weighs on you. Like as a woman, it is a weight that you genuinely cannot shake so long as like we exist in a patriarchal society.
And I just...
So if you didn't watch the Barbie movie, I think you should watch it. And if you didn't watch Kylan's video just now, I think you should watch it because it was pretty interesting. She says she gives the Barbie movie a 4 out of 10 and that she didn't like the movie because Barbie's supposed to like Ken. Barbie's supposed to be cheerful. Barbie is supposed to be for kids. Barbie is supposed to be palatable. Barbie is supposed to be submissive. That's what I heard, the palatable and submissive part. She didn't say that one exactly, but that's what I heard. Now, I really wish I could find this woman's ad because she nailed the point with this one, but I cannot. A while back on my For You page, I saw a video saying the problem with Trump supporter women is that they are told they are the exception, right? If they do everything men want them to do, if they do everything correctly, if they just kind of do everything by the social construct of things, they will make it to the top with men. They don't care to make it to the top by themselves. They want to be at the top with men, but not without men. Problematic, to say the least. And I'm over here like, yes, she obviously has white privilege, but what else is she benefiting from? Then it hit me. She's benefiting from the fact that she is pretty. And because she is pretty, she is never going to be the type of woman that men hate on. She's never going to be the type of woman that men do not buy drinks for. She's never going to be the type of woman that men are mean to. She benefits from that pretty privilege and she's not going to give it up. And this movie is kind of trying to destigmatize, incomparable women, women that do not look like the average everyday women that you see in magazines and things like that. Does that make sense? I don't know.
There was this other woman who was saying how it's anti-men. The Barbie movie is anti-men. And I'm like, you are literally a girl. Why are you hating like a man?
The new Barbie movie's sole purpose is to brainwash women into hating men by using lies and exaggerated caricatures of who men and women are. And it's deeply harming your and everyone's relationships, intimate relationships in their lives. That's why this matters. So let me explain. In the Barbie movie, every man is either stupid, useless, creepy, or evil. Literally, that is their main personality trait. Whereas all the women are kind, beautiful, powerful, smart, and everything's great. Until they're corrupted by the evil men, led by Ken. But don't worry, because they're all brought back to their power by Barbie. The plot of the story, if I could sum it up into one sentence, is men make the world worse, and women make the world better. The objective was to blame every problem in the world on men and the patriarchy. They took masculine qualities and they blew them so far or out of proportion or warped them to seem childish, useless, stupid again. And this is what I really hated, because it just really will influence girls and women's and boys and men's mind around what it means to be masculine and it being inherently bad and wrong and stupid. They made fun of masculine qualities like being protective, wanting to be useful, caring about women, having feelings, liking masculine things, or being competitive. And what makes me sad about this is that I know that there'll be some women who see these qualities in their partner or some men who see these qualities in themselves and who will demonize it and who will shut it down. And that is what's happening in our culture as we're calling every aspect of masculinity toxic and we're trying to beat it out of the boys and trying to scare the men out of having it. And what I wondered as I walked out of the movie theater and there was a movie theater full of like 13-year-old kids because it was a premiere night on a Friday night, I wondered, how do the boys feel about themselves right now? And how do the girls feel about themselves as well, right? Being painted as the victims and men and boys being these evil things in society. And how is that ripple effect going to impact all of our relationships, familial and intimate, our relationships with ourselves, and our possibility to actually be in a relationship with a masculine man? Movies are so powerful in influencing our subconscious mind. So you might think, what's the point? It's a freaking Barbie movie. But this is literally programming that stays in our minds, especially when kids watch it, whether they know it or not, and will paint the way that they see the world. And Barbie didn't start this. These themes are really prevalent in many movies and society as a whole. Once I started to see it, I could not unsee it. And here's the thing to remember, is they're not truthful. It's not that black and white. And ultimately, they're harming relationships. They're harming men and women, and boys and girls. And I am so sick of it. Hating men.
I don't need a Barbie movie to tell me to dislike men when men do that all for themselves. Perhaps the purpose of the movie can be found in the videos criticizing the movie, like yours, or like...
One plays a Barbie with a Nobel Prize in Physics, one is a mermaid Barbie. However, all the male characters in Barbie world are simply called Ken. So it's pretty clear where this movie's going. This is an assault on not just Ken, but all men.
Men feeling like a Barbie movie is an assault on men because the Barbies in the movie are the ones that hold the positions of power and are winning Nobel Prizes and are doctors and not just clinging onto a man's arm and only speaking when being spoken to, speaks more volumes than anything inside of that Barbie script could have ever done.
Now, my opinion on the Barbie movie was that the message was point blank clear. Like, you did not even have to get to the halfway mark of the movie to understand what the message was. Literally, right when they get into the real world, when Barbie and Ken, go off in their roller skates, you see the differences on how they're treated. Barbie is catcalled. Her butt gets slapped by this random guy. She's they're talking to her like she's an object, while Ken is being somewhat praised. You get me? So you ultimately see the contrast of how they're treated in society. And that's pretty prevalent on how women are treated in society compared to men. And to be honest, the topic of catcalling, I think, just hit hard, especially when my friends and I went to see it. This is an experience that I think every woman has, where they've been catcalled or they've been harassed by a man. Like, for example, in my experience was that when I was a freshman, I was 15, right? When I was a freshman and I was at a field trip, we were seeing these colleges or whatever. There was this guy in my grade level who made the comments to me. He said, and I quote, "You would be good in bed," or something like that. And mind you, at the time, I had not even had my first kiss. I had not had a boyfriend at the time, and to this day, I've never slept with anyone. So it made me very uncomfortable to hear that from someone. You get me? It made me very uncomfortable, and I hit him, right? I punched him. I don't know if I punched him in the shoulder or if I kicked him, but I hit him, and I got in trouble with the teacher, whoever was monitoring, right? And I didn't tell her what happened, mainly because I didn't want to cause a scene or whatever. And I don't even think anything would have been done had I said something. But regardless, and I think it was because of the location we were at. We were at TCU or something. But regardless, I still felt uncomfortable, and I felt very, I think I cried. I'm not really sure, but I felt very uncomfortable by the comment. So there's a lot of, catcalling and stuff like that is prevalent in society towards women. So that was a topic or an issue that I think most women could relate to. Then we get into the part of the movie where Ken discovers patriarchy, and he brings into the Barbie land, which the Barbie land is matriarchy. So women rule the Barbie land, while in society, men rule over the US, I guess you can say, or in basic society in general. So he brings back the patriarchy and horses. He brings back horses also. And we get the Mojo Dojo Casa house. That was kind of funny. Like, okay, some of this stuff was kind of funny. But you see how when he brings the patriarchy, women become subservient to the Kens. The Barbies become subservient. These Barbies who were president, who were doctors, who had these high roles, the Supreme Court Barbies, you know, they become subservient to the Kens. And the stuff that even like the mom that was in the movie, that she was telling the Barbies to like snap them out of the subservient role, it's true. Like, you have to realize that some of this stuff, it's like women are expected in a way to act a certain way to please men.
For men's bad behavior, which is insane, but if you point that out, you're accused of complaining. You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women, because you're supposed to be a part of the sisterhood, but always stand out and always be grateful. But never forget that the system is rigged, so find a way to acknowledge that, but also always be grateful. You have to never get old. Never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault.
I've seen this on TikTok, and it's actually really disturbing. I saw this guy's list on a live, and he had like all these things about like the perfect woman or what women should do, like as wife material, whatever, right? And one of them was don't have stretch marks and lose the pregnancy weight, right? And as if we're not going to talk about postpartum and how stretch marks are very prevalent after you give birth and even before. Like in my case right now, I'm 18, I've never had kids, and I have stretch marks. A lot of it is because you lose weight or you gain weight. It just varies on person to person. But even then, if a woman's happy with herself, okay, that's great. But I've noticed that it's always some men who are very judgmental about how a woman looks. Some women, I think, just mainly want a man who's taller than them, right? I think that's that. But this list, I'm telling you all, this list on TikTok was crazy as hell. Because it's like, they're listing all these things about, like, you know, no baby, like the after you give birth, no baby weight, no stretch marks, have to have less than like 5 bodies or whatever, right? And I feel like the body count part is also really icky, because it's so funny to me how men are judgmental about a woman's body count, but we're expected not to judge a man's body count. You get me? Like, you see where I'm coming from. It brings in a lot of discourse about the treatment of men and women in society. And there is a lot of that. And I feel like it's very, like, a lot of people choose either to ignore it or whatever. And anyways, but going back to it, I think what really gets me is the women who are, like, siding with some of these men who did not understand the movie at all. And it's like, I don't mean to say, like, did they pick you? But it's more like the concept of, okay, until it happens to you, that's when you'll get it. You get me? You kind of get where I'm coming from. And I feel like a lot of this was escalated when Andrew Tate came into the picture, because as I think a lot of you all know, Andrew Tate kind of set that narrative for teenage boys and young men to follow, and they pushed a very negative perspective onto women. Like, you know, trafficker Andrew Tate, who is in prison. And that's a whole discussion. This is a whole topic that we're getting into. And it's very rough territory, because there is a lot of people who have the disagreeing notion, right? Anyways, so the end of the movie, it's literally, I think this was the biggest message of it all. At the end of the movie, Barbie literally tells Ken, like, you need to go find yourself without me. And Barbie was gonna do the same. You get me? I think that was a bigger thing, that neither of them were going to be reliant on each other. And Barbie wasn't really reliant on Ken, mainly because the original Barbie did not have a Ken. And in the Barbie land, technically Ken was seen as an accessory. Because growing up, if you were a girl and you had a Barbie, growing up, you did not really have a lot of Kens. Did you or did you not? Because I only had me and my sister had 1 or 2 shared Kens, and that was it. But other than that, you always bought Barbie, but Ken came as the accessory. And ironically, that's how men kind of perceive women. Not all men, but some men. Please, I'm preferencing that to the extreme, the extremist extreme that I can extreme. Anyways, but I feel like in a way that's how we're seen in society, that women are technically supposed to be the accessory to men, when in reality, you know, we each can have our own separate things. But in society, it's always seen in a way kind of that a man wants to have a woman as an accessory to look good. But when he gets tired of her or bored of her, he throws her away and he gets another one. And I don't mean to stereotype all men, some men do this. So it's a pretty, like, you know, prevalent thing, right? And I think this whole discussion brings in a lot of heated topics, and I feel like that's a big thing to also take into account, that this is actually a big discussion that can bring in a lot of arguments, actually. Anyways, but the movie in general, I did really like it. It was really funny. It was really comedic. I loved how the music, like literally when Billie Eilish came on, I started crying. Like she sang and I just felt tears streaming down my eyes. I do find it funny when he was wearing the I am Knuff sweater, which I asked my mom, like, Mom, can I get a sweater like that? I think that would be hilarious for me to wear. Anyways, so I liked that. I liked the I'm just Ken, anywhere else I'd be. I love that song. It's kind of funny. And the fact that they were all dancing with it and like very, you know, I love that. I thought it was such a great, graceful dancing. I thought it was a really good movie, to be honest with you. And I did see it with my friends. I'm kind of hoping I would see it with my mom, because it is kind of a mother-daughter movie as well. So anyways, yeah, I guess that's it. Give me your own opinions about the Barbie movie. What did you think about it? And like I said, everyone does have their own opinion about the movie. Everyone has their own opinion about it. So anyways, I think that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Comment down below what else you guys want me to talk about on this channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I guess that's it. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time on my channel. Bye, guys.